Does anybody want to second it?
Mark,
Well, I'm just gonna ask, what is the agenda, or what are we looking to achieve by having a quick IGC meeting?
The agenda is that we, as a committee, come up with an interlocal agreement for hedging roads and Loxahatchee roads, okay, let me finish, okay?
I will.
Interlocal agreement that we can't come up with, okay? And while you guys are trying to figure out an RFP, because it's gonna really surprise me what kind of RFP you come up, because, hey, because first of all, hedging roads and taking care of easements is basically a simple thing that you keep the right-of-way open for trash trucks and emergency vehicles. Now, if that's your RFP and you're gonna go per hour, because the district is willing to go per hour, so their per hour for the whole world to know is gonna be $51.20. That's for the machine, the operator, and cleanup, so no. And like Tom said, you're not getting it for free. You've already paid your assessments, you've already paid your taxes, okay? So let me clarify again, you're not getting it for free. But at least what you've already paid is paying for it, and your money is not going outside of this town. If you pay it to the water control district, it will keep them like it has for the last 9 years from raising your assessments. The town, as far as taxes go, our taxes is based mainly on the commercial businesses that are established and will be established in Loxahatchee roads.
Council, can I answer that now? Because
Go
I
ahead.
asked you the question, you started answering, and I said a few minutes ago, why would we sit down and talk about an interlocal agreement? I just told you a few minutes earlier, we have an ITB that's ready to all go out in the street, and then the Vice Mayor said, we'll take it to the FAAC. We could put it on Friday if you want. Well, why am I gonna talk about an interlocal agreement when we're putting an invitation to bid out that covers hedging?
Well, hey, first of all, I'd like to see what you got going, okay? Hey, and if you can do it Friday, hey, laugh all you want.
I'm not-
Hey,
I'm not-
No, hey,
all right,
if you
listen.
can do it Friday.
Ronnie, you've made a motion? You've made a motion to put together the committee immediately, right? To establish, is there a second? Okay, motion, Dr. Mark. All right.
Mark, do we ask Mark to send that out on Friday?
Question is, yes, we're gonna make it on Friday, I'm sure. Bill tells me, yeah, he thinks it's so. If you don't wanna, if we can do it on Friday, we'll get it out on Friday, get it rolling.
Normally, we would have something like that done by the finance committee, we did not do that. Right?
No, we did not.
Okay.
We're gonna get it done.
I would want us to move forward on it because it took so long to get to it.
We'll get it out as soon as we can.
And have them involved with the responses.
We can bring it to them after the fact, just to show them what we're doing. If that's
And they-
okay?
And these 5 items, we're gonna put money with it, and we're gonna come back at a later meeting on them, right? We're not gonna spend any more time with these
We can
items.
do that due diligence. I mean, you may remember, I think it was Councilman Gerald that asked it. Bill, at one point in time, did look at the Ojibwa per mile, which was, the figure he would receive was 177. And I think, if I remember the numbers correctly, what we told you was that it would cost $5.8 million to do, I think, the rest of the roadways that needed to be done based upon that $177 figure. So right there, that's one cost tag. Man, we can do that. Yeah, we can give you an idea. In looking at it just quickly, we were looking at about 10 million is what we thought, just right off the bat, just limited to these things. So,
Yeah, I'd like us to move forward on some of the things we've already given the town staff to do and put some of these things in lower on the list. That's what I'd like us, not to keep throwing different things and then week to week we change the priorities. It's either
Right, there's other people have priorities on that list that are not getting done. I'm one of them. And I find that very frustrating.
and I'll get you a new priorities list for discussion on the 5th. How's
All
that?
Right now, we've got an agenda with 5 more items under C. Are we gonna go through these tonight, or are we gonna put it off to another time? What are we gonna do?
We're on the,
Well, it's late, and I'd rather hear public comments. Virginia?
I'd just like to make a point that a lot of people came here tonight, give their input, pro and con on one item, and they stayed quite a bit. If you could extend them the courtesy to at least speak if they're here on the road issue.
And which
If they
item was
could
that?
give- I believe that's 9C1, if they could just at least give you feedback, because we've never given feedback on the road issue.
on
We could at
the,
least have that courtesy on the Ojum, paving of the Ojum,
okay,
9C101.
all right. Let's open it up to comments by the public for 9C1. You know what, I'm gonna take comments for any of these items right now. I've got, so if you've got comments about this, come on up. We've got Robin Sheehan, Henry Knowles.
It's about another issue. We can wait.
All right, so you want that, it's not under someone, this whole business?
No.
Okay, you want another public comment?
Yeah.
Okay. Howard Ward.
Howard Warren, E Road. I might be remembering incorrectly, but when I was at the joint meeting of the Water Control District and the Town Council, the workshop, I could have sworn it was agreed to by the Water Control District that they were willing to turn over the easements of the roads when they were paved. Well, we have Ron wanting to take care of repairing Bryan, Compton, and Marcella, and we have Tom saying it's a doable thing only if the Water Control District turns over those easements to the town. And that would create a situation where they're different than all the other roads. So, since we have that point of agreement, wouldn't the political expedient thing to do, make a motion to go ahead and again petition the Water Control District to turn over those easements so a move can be made on that item? And so you have Tom and Ron agreeing on the same thing. Why don't you guys move forward and push that and say, you guys agreed to it, let's do it.
We've done that in the past, what was established.
At the workshop, remember at the workshop?
The workshop we talked about, like, we
At their meeting the other night, they very delayed it, was put off to another meeting with Mike to talk about it further.
Well, before we get there, remember we had formed the motion at the workshop. And the motion was the letter roads, and I think it was mentioned 2 roads, Compton and Marcella, but I don't think Bryan was mentioned in that. When it came to you all for your motion, by that time, the prospect of Bryan Road, even though it was different, was mentioned by Cleve. So I believe, and I'm going off memory, that when you did yours, I know it did include the letter roads, plus Compton and Marcella. I believe we also put in Bryan. You said, let's do those roads, consistent with what happened in the workshop. What I've been advised is that when I went to the district, their motion was limited to just the letter roads. For whatever issue that was discussed there. So all we have the consensus between the 2 boards right now, which was by motion, because at workshop you don't take action, was to have us work on conveying the already Ojum letter roads to the town.
Okay, so do we need a motion?
If you want to ask the district to rethink, or at least take action on those roads, a motion would be appropriate.
Okay. Want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we take action on all the Ojum roads, the district roads, and Bryan, Compton, Marcella, to try and get the,
Okay, Ron has a motion, Ron has a
That's requesting the district to authorize that.
Just bear in mind, Mayor, when I appeared at the December 10th, meeting of the Board of Supervisors, I did ask them, because Mike and I had talked about this, I asked them to amend their motion to include those 3 roads. So we actually made the request.
Okay, we have a motion and a second now. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Hang on, sorry,
Okay.
I gotta think a little bit on this. Ron, I thought said all Ojum roads.
all paved roads, and in case one of them's not open. In other words, any,
No, I'm just asking that question because, we didn't talk about Folsom, did we?
Folsom is a county road unless I'm wrong. That is South Folsom.
Did we talk about, or F road? We didn't talk about F road.
You talked only about those roads that were part of the special act. Those were what we called the letter roads.
And then Compton, Marcella.
were specifically discussed,
And then Brian had kind of mentioned, I thought we mentioned it afterwards.
You mentioned it in your motion.
I would ask Siobhan to specify for each of the roads, and you can call out the letters, and the three other roads, Compton, Marcella, and
So
Zoning.
North ACD.
You've already done, and we're in agreement on the letter roads. It's just that it was the named roads
And include them.
they did not include, that you included, and the motion appropriate tonight would be to ask them to add those roads that you already did, which are Marcella, Bryan, and Compton, so that we can.
And that's Ron's motion, right, Ron? Okay, and that's your second, Ryan? Okay. Further discussion? Any of these comment cards about that issue?
Yes.
Yes, John?
3508 Road. I've listened to an awful lot of misinformation tonight. There are no public easements recorded for Bryan Road. On Compton and Marcella, the district does not have ownership of an easement right. The county named us as grantee on behalf of the public, which is a very uncertain status. And we have instructed our council to work with the town's attorney to find out what kind of transfer we can make to the town that has sufficient validity for the town to accept responsibility for those two roads. Now, we've said in the background that we think magic date of July 2014, that the town may be able to qualify under a Florida statute to actually take formal legal responsibility for the town roads, simply because they started subsidizing the maintenance of roads through the district in June or July of 2007. So that's the background resolution. There is no hesitancy on the part of the district to turn over whatever our interest is, but it's not a very sufficient legal document to say, we don't really know what our interest is. The county needed a public body to serve as a grantee of a dedication to the public by the landowner. It didn't say that the landowner dedicated an easement to the district for the road. So the status is uncertain, and all we've said to our attorney is work with the town, figure out what the town needs, and whatever we need to turn over, we are perfectly willing to turn it over.
Can I just state this real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt this. From your perspective, you've given me the authority to work on those three roads. If I pursue that and we're getting there, then you've done what you need. What I wanted to just make sure is that if I were to, because I am meeting with Mary Viator on the issues that have been agreed to by the two bodies, that if I come up showing, I'm going to talk about, how to do these roads. I think everybody needs to make sure that we're working on the same, scorecard, that we're working on the same items. And if Mr. Ryan's saying, yeah, of course, that's different than the letter roads. If she can work with me, you've already given me all the authority I need.
And I think what John's saying is exactly illustrative of my point. My point is, things aren't getting done because there are reasons. And the reasons are technical in nature. It's not as easy as, let me run out. Just like if something that says an easement and has their name on it is insufficient, how can no easement whatsoever be sufficient for us to run out and do? So we need, exactly, and that needs to be worked out. But when people are instead told something different, which is the council is stonewalling or sitting on their hands because they're not getting this done because we just don't want to spend the money, that's not the case. We're still hamstrung by the exact situation that John's explaining to. So,
And I wrote it up on a formal request to Mary Viator for our last meeting. I
We're on the same page now. We want to get this, exactly, get it done, but that's the problem. We have to get it done. We don't need to do it beforehand. Right.
We talked about the list, and we have a meeting set up to start going through it.
And even with respect to the district roads, what we said at the workshop, and I've said this in several meetings, that it would greatly simplify things from the town's standpoint. We could convert our perpetual right of easement to a fee simple. And if we can get that done with a class title action or cooperation with Southern States Land and Timber, I know from previous discussions with Mark and Bill Underwood that they would feel a lot more comfortable with the town's accepting the ownership or the full responsibility for the district road. So we're working on all those items, but it is not as straightforward as saying, okay, we've got a fee simple title, we can issue some sort of transfer document that's done. We're trying to get it done where the town management is comfortable with the end result, and the town's attorney and our attorneys are satisfied that we're doing it the correct way.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second to let Mike proceed. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Marcia Newell.
Marcia Newell, 3508 C Road. Consider a governmental committee. It seems to me that if there's a committee, it should be people that are selected by more than one person. And it seems just a little fishy to say, I want to be on the committee and this is who I want to be on the committee with me. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, it just, especially after everything that's gone on tonight, it just seems fishy. And that's all I want to say. So I think that it should be decided upon by the 5 of you who goes on to the committee and the 5 of them who goes on their committee. To just get rid of that little strange little fishiness there. Thank you.
And yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Ann Miles. Mary Ann Miles.
Mary Ann Miles, 3413 B Road. I don't know about all of you, but I'm worn out. Tonight was enough, so I'm not going to keep a lot of your time. I handed in a packet that I'd like you to find this in consideration to review. I think the facts and the figures that I have put together on that information will make not only the letter roads of B Road, let me clarify something here, North B Road, North A Road, North C Road, and North D Road, pretty happy people. With your help and my figures, you can check them all out. I think we can come to a solution that doesn't drain the taxpayers' pockets and doesn't drain the board of money. And that way we're not revisiting and revisiting. I can't speak for the roads for south of Okeechobee because the letter roads north of Okeechobee have different acreage amounts and different things to be looked at. But I spent a lot of time and a lot of energy on getting those facts and figures together. So I would appreciate the council looking at them. And just on your paperwork, orange means no on the map, and yellow means yes. And if you have any questions, please let me know, and I will give you my phone number after we're done, and you can ask me about what I've handed you.
Thank you.
No, not at all. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, can I make sure town management has a copy? That way,
We appreciate that, thank you, but we don't have one.
Thank you for your effort on that. Okay, Joseph Vinsky. You here?
He left.
Carol Murphy.
out of Compton. There's a couple things I just want to let you know. Compton Road is at a point now that it's very dangerous. I have pulled myself, for the record, pulled 2 cars out of the canal that have gone off the road because of the potholes and stuff. You're on notice with everybody that knows that if there's, the town is liable, whether you like it or not. You get somebody who's over there and they die or they get hurt real bad and they get a real good attorney, the town's gonna really spend some money. Tom, I don't know your last name, showed up, sorry, but you said before, tell me what to spend the money on and all that. I'm gonna tell you, spend the money. Spend it on Compton Road and fix this road, please. And as far as the drainage goes, there's, the way we figured it out, there's one driveway that the water can't get under. You get a loader out there and pull that out, put a pipe in. I've got the pipe, I'll give you the pipe, put the pipe, let the water run through and the problem's over there. We don't have to take the trees out of the canal. At least the water will go through. It can't go through because it's blocked right there. So there's 2 things you could fix right quick and it's not a big deal. But the road, I'm telling you, every town attorney look into the liability on that because I pulled 2 of them out of there now. And Friday night, there was somebody went down there and smashed into those rocks and stuff. And I don't know how they did it, but they moved those rocks. It looks like an explosion blew off. So don't do anything about it. You keep going on and not doing it. Something can seriously happen, sir, I'm telling you. Thank you.
Virginia Standish.
Virginia Standish, 15410 North Road. I'm here to give you feedback. I was hoping somebody would be here to give you feedback on why they voted yes. Some people have asked me to give feedback on why they voted no. I have Ojum in front of my house. I was fine with having a vote. Our household ended up voting no. One thing I can say is that the first thing is people said, we voted no, what's the rush for the Ojum? Now, I was at that joint meeting and I thought I heard it said, when all the roads are Ojum, they'll be turned over to the town. That's what I thought I heard. I said, was said, excuse me, it's late and I'm tired. Which made me wonder, why are we even voting? It sounded like a mandate, like a dictatorship. Basically, I hate to say it to you guys, but that's what it sounded like that night. So here's some comments. Revenue is going to be coming into this town, whether we like it or not. Just because we don't have it now, you could always wait for the revenue to come and do these projects. As you're saying, what do we have money for? What can we do? The other people on the other roads would probably be upset and want their money reimbursed though. I can't blame them for that. So you'd have to have a lot of money in the coffers to reimburse them. One of the biggest reasons they voted no, obviously, was cost. But there's many other reasons. And the biggest reason that I heard, and it comes from my household, is the poor quality of the project and the design of the project. That project was designed by somebody that was concerned about his liability, and that would be the engineer. There was no consensus or consideration of an aesthetic value. I drive down Pearson Road in Wellington. Oh, beautiful, gorgeous. I don't want it. Ag area. I drive down our roads, and it's like we are in an industrial park. Forget about commercial. Just make us all industrial, because that's what we're looking like. The road quality itself, it varies from road to road. Okay. We stopped grading roads here properly years ago. I've lived out here over 30 years. I've lived in this county 50 years. I remember when roads were graded with a crown. The last time I saw that was South B Road, South Kentucky Canal after Isaac. All of a sudden, that road was done beautifully with a crown. They remembered how to grade a road. No alternative of design was offered. It was take it or leave it. If you're asking us to pay for something, give us some choices. You had an engineer do it. I don't think he's just a one-track engineer. If you're going to give us designs, give us choices and alternatives. There's also a very serious concern in this town. Unfortunately, this is a rumor. There's a concern that this B Road is the future to North Lake. Now, personally, A Road goes right up to Seminole Pratt. You can have A Road go to Seminole Pratt and leave us alone on B Road. but we've been hearing for years that B Road's going to North Lake. Sorry, guys, I'm just telling you different things.
Just counter Jeff.
But they'll be on our, we'll have to join forces, maybe we'll be friends, okay? The concern is that, and here's a valid concern too, it was brought up tonight, that there's a legal issue with mortgages and title. The other concern, as we know, we have this wonderful House bill. It's there, it exists. Roads, graders now have instructions to grade up to fences, irregardless of whether they're encroaching on people's properties or not. Now, I don't know how that, if you can, the last 3 feet that have been graded in the past month, how that qualifies as being taken care of 7 years. But what happens is, once you throw down OJEM, you're just making it easier. You know, you're in cahoots basically with the water district, you're holding hands with them on this, you're allowing them to come in and claim land they just took in the past few months that they have not been maintaining for 7 years when you throw that OJEM down. Now, perhaps the other people on the other roads don't realize what happened to them, but some of us on B Road are just a little bit smarter about this issue. Okay, many residents are tired of hearing about what has been done on, what's being done on our roadside. We're on the roadside, and the other side, God bless them, you don't touch them, hands off. Now, Cassie is my friend, and she and I discussed this. I've asked her, Cassie, what's happened to your property? Nothing. Now, I'm not looking for anything to happen to people on the other side of the canal. What I want to know is, why is it okay for us on the roadside to keep getting our property taken away, and we can't even get a simple bridle path? So my suggestion is, if you guys are serious about trying to get consensus of people to get the roads OJEM, go with what the water district is suggesting. They're waiting to the fee simple transfer can be done of the easements. Show us you're serious. Because I've heard for decades, it's not going to happen. There will be no bridle path in this town. And I've heard that from a reputable attorney, that it's just a joke on the people in this town. So how about you get the district to transfer everything, get fee simple title, give us a bridle path, because I think E Road has now been gated. E Road was a nice little trail that people could ride on. It was in the town prior. There was something in the town prior that E Road was opened up. I've got the article, I'll bring it in, but I had somebody ask me why it was gated. I said, I don't know. You know, you need to go to the water district and ask them. The final thing is that the most serious issue is the legal consequences, and I've asked the town manager what happens when these roads are turned over and you have a 5-acre property. Now, so I've got different opinions. Some say we're protected in the charter. My 5-acre property, now that you've taken a piece of my property, you're going to tell me I'm a non-conforming property, and if I want to do something, you're going to charge me $3,500 to $5,000? That's not going to happen, because I'm going to come before you and demand that you correct it in the ULBC. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. All right, moving into closing comments by the public. I've got Robin Sheehan and Henry. Yeah, I've got you under public comments, right?
I'm Robin Sheehan, 14345 Short Road North. My husband Henry Noyes. We've had a problem where we live. We have a very small farm, a small business. I have competition horses, dressage horses, and the man next to us has a motocross. And the noise level is unbelievable, and now he has incorporated the person next to him. So there's 2 motocross tracks by my house. I'm losing business. I have a boarder that's leaving. I have a student that won't ride, and I'm losing money. And my business is being affected. My husband works at night and sleeps during the day, and that's not happening. This weekend, we had 3 ATVs, 2 motorcycles. Before we came to this meeting, 4 motorcycles, every day, every day. I've called the police twice, and they have done nothing. Russ told us to get a motorcycle and join them.
Yeah.
That's great. I don't know what has to happen if someone has to get hurt or whatever to end this, but I'm also fearful of my neighbor for retaliation. So I'll let my husband say it.
Yeah, I think Brandon came out. And looked at it the other day, but, yeah, I know it's, I want to get along with the neighbors, and this is, I can't tolerate it. And it's right in your section 505, purpose and intent. I mean, it says the purpose and intent of the section is to regulate possible nuisances, such as excessive noise, visual detractions or eyesores, odors, vibrations, anything that could interfere with the peaceful enjoyment of the land. Something, I think something needs to be done about this. Cease and desist. This is one of the.
This is other public comments.
Quick question, if you know the answers.
Yeah.
Do they charge people money to ride motocross there, or are they different people, or is it just the owners?
It's the owners, but there have been gatherings there. I don't think they charge anything. There's a lot of drinking involved, moving and carrying on. The children come home from school. This is on the next door property now. And they ride around till dusk or after into the night sometimes. I just got a text while I was sitting here before this meeting. There was a man that wants to use my farm for a clinic. I have to turn it down.
I'd have to sympathize, I know with ATVs can be very.
There's
ATV with him. I hear him on T Road.
I hear.
Rocket should hear.
And yes, they have back bobcats and skid steers, and they pile dirt up in jumps, and they're pretty heavy duty motorcycles. And they have small and large also. It's so hard. You can't sleep, you can't go out in the evening and enjoy your. It's terrible.
Your Honor, if you want, I'll just give you a quick update. So, we, very sympathetic on Ms. Sheehan's. She sent us some emails over the weekend, and Mr. Sheehan's correct. I did send Braden up to take a look at it first before we engaged with Russ. I'm not sure it's the same Russ we're talking about, but I certainly will check with Russ to make sure that comment was not appropriate if it was our Russ. But Braden has talked to them and indicated as long as they were willing to file a complaint at that time, not knowing they were going to come to you, but if they were willing to file the affidavit, we would get moving on it. It's obviously a noise complaint, and we'll have to schedule and start the code enforcement process to do that properly. So that's our position at this point in time. We're sympathetic.
It's been there a long time. But, yes, no, I hear it from my house, like I said, I know what you mean. All right, John?
Todd McClendon, D Road. I wanted to go over this issue with the collecting the signatures about the college. And anybody stop me if I'm misspeaking. Up until now, the residents of Loxahatchee Groves have only had the opportunity to ask the town council whether the college is here or not. Ask being the key word. We're trying to collect signatures so that people of Loxahatchee Groves can tell the town council whether they want the college here. And that's what the petition is about. To have the opportunity to have a binding voice and tell you what we want, not ask you. It's simple. For you guys to object to what we're asking for is telling the people of Loxahatchee Groves, you don't tell us what to do, you can ask us, but you're not going to tell us. And with all these end-of-world scenarios about the $5 million and about this and that, all those arguments can be made after we collect the signatures, before the people have the chance to vote as to whether the college comes or not. But up to this point, all we're trying to do is educate the people. We have Mr. Klein here tonight, been here 40-some years. You know anything about the college coming here? Yes. Are there a lot of residents asleep at the wheel out there? Absolutely. Have no clue. Are there friends of yours that don't want the college here? Absolutely. What we're trying to do is get out there, wake the people up at the wheel, and say, hey, this is what's going on here. We'll be able to educate everybody as to what's good and what's bad after we collect the signatures and before the people vote. So to come out with all this craziness and to go around to committee members and trying to get them dropped off the committee, now's not the time. Because all you're doing is saying, no, don't tell us what to do, we're making the decision. All we're asking for is for us to tell you what to do. You're servants of the people, and sometimes you need to be reminded of that. You work for us. We're going to tell you what we want. And that's what this vote is going to do. It's going to tell you that. You may have had the opportunity to do this yourself before. I don't know. Before you guys made the decision. You could have said, this is a monumental change in this town. Sorry, college, we got to put this out and vote to the people. You didn't do that. Sorry, you didn't do that. That's all we're trying to do now, is wake up the people and say, Mr. Klein, you've been here 40-something years. Did you know this is coming? No. Okay, well, here's the pros and cons about it. Do you still want it? That's all we're trying to do. Thank you.
Okay, Mark Komar.
He left too.
Okay, Mariana Miles? Again.
Marianne Miles, 3413 B Road. Some of the people have left that I really needed to address the comments to. One I'll hit on that was just commented on. If the people that are signing the petition for the college wanted to take a vote to have it done, they should have done that a while ago, before the property was built, or before the property was purchased. And if they don't want it, then they should get money together to buy the property from the college, let me finish, so that way it doesn't cost the taxpayers money in legal fees to fight whatever is going to be an ongoing process to get this resolved. On another issue, I live west of the canal on B Road. I have no problem with horse trails coming in or in the future. I have a problem with people riding their horses west of the telephone pole, which is private people's easements. And when you go on the grass and you go an acre into somebody else's property and you're riding your horses, you are trespassing. This has been going on for years and I haven't said anything. I don't want a liability situation. I don't want to come in and say, okay, now that the town or the drainage district has a liability situation. On the other hand, I don't want horses really on the road because there is a big liability situation because, OJM or not, these people are not slowing down. And one of the reasons we have to have the speed bumps is because people don't take into consideration that they shouldn't go fast. Consequently, we have to have speed bumps. When I first started the petition for B Road, and I had talked to Cleve, I didn't know how the sectors were spread out. I thought, okay, the residents of B Road. And as I got into it, I found out later on that there's 757 acres going from north of North Road, which takes on 160 acres, all the way to Okeechobee. So when I did the calculations and figured it out, I thought, oh, okay, there are a lot of residents that their main access road is not B Road. They live on adjoining roads, North Road and out on Okeechobee. Their sector is B Road, if you want to call it a sector, their plot of land that they get taxed if we're going to do OJM. That's their block. Just like A Road takes on a certain amount of property north of North Road. I'm not going to make this long. Again, I feel that my facts and figures are correct. And if you look at them, it will make the residents who are already going to pay for their assessments not make them pay the assessment that they're gonna pay on A Road, C Road, and D Road North. And it'll make everybody happy. But that has to come about. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
You know, I appreciate Mary Ann and Virginia's comments on the subject, but I'm wondering why they're addressed to us when really this is a procedure of the water district that it was up to the water district to do, and we don't feel, we're not the board of appeal of the water district. Now, if the issue is somehow that we should pay for something that the people themselves said they didn't want to pay for, I really have a philosophical problem with that, because I don't think anyone will ever agree to pay for anything again, and everybody who's already paying should sure come to us and ask us to pay it, and once again, we've been through that loop, it's $10 million. So, you know, if the people want to pay, we already have a process by which you can get your road paid, and 4 out of 5 times, it went for payment. And when they did that, they also used those areas to the north, and as Lieutenant well knows, you know, he probably didn't want to be included in that. You know, he would have gladly said, no, I find a different way in, but no. So, you know, we can't change the rules. We have to stick with something that's fair. And, you know, that's, I think, really, folks, you know, I don't really have a lot of personal care one way or the other. I don't drive on North Beach Road very often, so I really don't care. It's paid, it's not paid. But we're just trying to say for everybody in town, we should have a fairness. It should be the same. It shouldn't be like, well, hey, we didn't get it that way. Let's see if we can get around it, because that's exactly what it looks like you're doing. So.
Can I address that just a minute? Tom, I'm not. If you look at the facts and figures, I'm not trying to get around it. I'm not trying to have the town board pay to have OJM on our road. I realize that it was turned down, but it was turned down for a vote for a reason, because most of the people didn't want to pay the assessment at hand. I'm not saying you have to do all the letter roads all at once. What I'm saying is, if you take this bit by bit, there's a certain amount in my figures that will make it a viable situation for everybody, and the letter roads on A, D, and C will get money back. They're not going to say, okay, we're paying for this and B Road doesn't pay. Just please look at those.
I'll be glad to look at it.
We'll look at it. All right, comments by our manager.
No other comments?
Comments by our attorney.
Go Gators.
Comments by our council.
Let me, Mike, I don't leave my hook as easy as the bottom. Mike, something that I'd like to ask you to do, if the council agrees. We've talked about the subject tonight, but we haven't really addressed anything specifically. Well, we have a little bit here. Here's what I was looking for. The district and the town had a meeting, and we agreed certain things. We talked about that tonight. I don't get a comfort level of request meetings being scheduled or even attempts to be scheduled between two town boards. I don't know who's asking for meetings to be set, if anybody. And when they are asked, are we having them? And how often, and when are those meetings taking place? And what is discussed in a very limited summary fashion?